They're using the black hole thing as if it's never been there, but they say that 9 billion of that is down to pay rises and costs of the civil service. The fact that what they're doing to the pensions, I think that's the final straw. I mean, you know, how disrespectful is that? They're paid into the system all their life, and I mean, it's just like the new Robin Hood Starmer, isn't it? It's robbing everybody to feed the migrants and the illegals.
Now, breaking right now, Charlie Mullins, who is known as Britain's richest plumber. He's very, very, very rich, multi-millionaire, the guy behind Pimlico Plumbers, sold it recently in order to launch a new business. Well, he has put his money where his mouth is after threatening to leave the country if Labour got into power. He has done just that. He follows in the footsteps of Father Calvin Robinson, a regular on this show, who has also quit to move to the US. And there are other billionaires and millionaires doing the same thing as well. So Charlie Mullins appeared on GB News today to justify his decision and warning. This clip does contain small doses of Tom Hardwood, so I apologise in advance for that.
Tom,
you're quitting Britain. Is this not a bit unpatriotic of you?
Well, you can call it what you want, but I'm just not. I'm moving abroad to protect my assets for my family. I mean, you know, they're going to increase inheritance tax, going to increase capital gains. You know, it's just destroying Britain. It's just not practical no more to be here. And, you know, I've paid, they say, over 100 mil into the system. And I'm afraid to say that, you know, Starmer is just driving away sort of investors, entrepreneurs, even just normal people that are on 100k or 150k, they also want to leave. It's the wrong way to go about it. And unfortunately, they're very anti-business. You know, maybe we was better off with the Conservatives in, if I'm being honest, because at least they didn't have all this increase in taxes and the workers' rights. That, you know, I'm pretty sad to be leaving, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's quite a big decision, but, you know, I'm no longer prepared to keep putting into the system and let them waste it.
And Nadine Dorries, the former Tory cabinet minister, posted on X, lost count of the number of people I know who are going to live in the UAE. And Charlie actually went on to give a couple of examples of that.
And I think we'll be in recession very soon. And, you know, I've been speaking to different billionaires and millionaires over the last week, and they're already gone. There's Alfie Best gone to Monaco. There's other people that are leaving. Dubai, Italy, anywhere but the UK, because they just don't know how to look after people that are contributing to the economy. And I think we'll be in recession very soon. And, you know, I was speaking to...
Gosh, Myron, this is a worry. This is a huge worry, because Labour might hate a real success story like Charlie Mullins, but I think he's amazing. He's just the sort of person that we desperately need. He's a wealth creator.
No, absolutely. I think we need to come to the realization that the state has no money. And so the state needs money from the private sector. It's an obvious point, but everyone seems to forget this point. Around 10% of the richest people in this country pay 60% of income tax. We have the top 1% of this country pay around 30% of income tax. And that is how this country works. If we have a mass exodus of millionaires, whatever billionaires, 9,000 millionaires leaving this year, you are going to have a dysfunctional economy. And today we had news of mass immigration and how perhaps a significant amount of this mass immigration is low skill, low wage, which is over the lifetime of around, I don't know, 70, 60 years or so, pensionable age. It's a net drain of £150,000 on the economy. We are now in a situation where we could end up toppling over.
Which is nuts. Per migrant. Which is just an astonishing figure. And actually, before I get you to come in, Molly, I want to show you the moment when Charlie spoke about the fact that he feels very betrayed that so much of his tax money is now going to illegal migrants.
They're using the black hole thing as if it's never been there, but they say that 9 billion of that is down to pay rises and costs of the civil service. the fact that what they're doing to the pensions, I think that's the final straw. I mean, you know, how disrespectful is that? They're paid into the system all their life, and I mean, it's just like the new Robin Hood Starmer, isn't he? It's robbing everybody to feed the migrants and the illegals.
But first, it's the best time of year. Football is back. We're talking Premier League in the UK and in the US, NFL Sundays and college football Saturdays. With that comes the glorious grind of fantasy football lineups where your inner manager comes alive, setting perfect fantasy rosters, screaming at your TV. You know what it's like. But listen, while you're over here making sure your fantasy team is dialed in, don't let your personal grooming become the guy that gets left on the bench. Because let's be honest, no one wants to fumble their grooming routine. That's where Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0 Ultra comes in, acting as your all-in-one grooming playbook. From keeping things sharp down below with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra to taking care of those rogue ear and nose hairs with the Weed Whacker 2.0, this is the lineup that'll keep you looking and feeling like a champ on and off the field. It will help you feel clean, confident and ready to dominate your fantasy league. So the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra Groin and Body Hair Trimmer is the franchise player of your grooming roster. With precise trimming capabilities, it's reliable, efficient and gets the job done without fumbling. Whether it's for date night, a weekend tailgate or just everyday grooming, this is the tool you want on your squad. No one wants a surprise ear or nose hair making a guest appearance on game day, so the Weed Whacker 2.0 handles those details like a pro, keeping you neat and ready to go. No missed tackles in your grooming game. Also today comes with 2 free gifts. How can you resist this? The Boxers 2.0 Midnight Bravo and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. Premium gear to ensure you're always ready for action, whether at home or on the road. So join the over 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. I'm one of them. And get ready for kickoff by heading over to manscaped.com. Use the coupon code Outspoken and you will get 20% off and free shipping as well. So let me repeat that, www.manscaped.com. When you go to checkout, you just type in Outspoken and you'll get 20% off your entire order as well as free shipping. This is an incredible deal. Stay on top of your grooming game and be ready for anything the season throws your way. What's your reaction to the brain drain? Because I know earlier you said you're actually considering joining it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just, you know... So the fact that millionaires and billionaires are leaving is obviously concerning. I don't dispute that at all. We need those people to pay tax. But for me, I think as concerning is the people in the middle. And I think Charlie mentioned, the ordinary people. You can judge whether someone earning 100 or 150 grand is an ordinary person, but the kind of band of aspirational middle classes. And of course we have, and we're directly affected by this, the tax on the private school fees. And for me, that just speaks to this like punishment of anyone who wants to strive for them and their families to do well in this country. And I think when you couple it with, so what have we got? We've got the inheritance tax, we've got the tax on school fees, we've got proposed increases to capital gains tax, which are a huge, huge deal cumulatively. And in fact, as someone, so I would be affected by the tax on the private school fees. As an ex-entrepreneur, I would have been affected by the capital gains tax. It's really, really difficult to set up your own business. You give up a salary, you put your own money in and you work. I mean, in my case, it was for at least half a decade for no money. The only thing you have going is the prospect of some kind of return at the end. And I can tell you now, if he brings that tax in, it will just kill entrepreneurship in this country. And a lot of my friends, so before Us for Them, before campaigning, I had a startup tech business for half decade, more about 8 years in the end, and had a very big network of friends in that industry. And I would say half of them have now gone to mainly other European countries, but notably other countries that are very receptive to young and ambitious entrepreneurs. And we just don't have that anymore in this country. And it's really, really sad to see that, the disparity in the, again, like declining tech scene here compared to overseas.
Myron, what do you make of the fact... sorry, you come on, Myron.
Yeah, sorry. Let's not forget, Labour ran their campaign on growth. And it's astounding that they did that. And where on earth is the growth going to come from? I mean, we've got oil refineries closing down. We've got net zero pumping, wasting taxpayers' money. We've got an exodus of millionaires. Where on earth is growth? Capital gains tax is a tax that you have already paid tax on your income, and you are not, instead of being rewarded for taking a risk and retrieving your profit, you are going to be penalised. How is growth going to happen? It's simply not going to happen. And this is the problem with socialism and the authoritarian government of Starmer.
Indeed. Myron, I wanted to ask you about patriotism, though. Reform UK is obviously a very patriotic party. A lot of these people leaving are real patriots. But Calvin Robinson, for example, Father Calvin Robinson, he's regularly on the show. He has faced a lot of pushback from folk who say, oh, you're quitting the battle. You're leaving when we need you most. What's your view on that sort of response to the people who are getting out?
I would like to see, I think Calvin Robinson, he's an important voice. I would like to see him still in the country, fighting the good fight, politically, democratically, on his media channels, through social media, whatever it is. I am actually, believe it or not, Dan, I'm a little bit optimistic. I think I see this Labour government as a vaccination, right? It's a vaccine. Every so often, a country needs a vaccination against socialist authoritarian identity politics. And this is our vaccination. I think after this government, the public will understand the perils of net zero. They will understand the perils of mass immigration, high taxation, low growth, authoritarian governance. They will understand these things and they will vote against them vehemently. And I think it's important that there are voices like yourself, like Calvin Robinson and others, Reform UK, Nigel Farage, that we're ready and waiting in the next 4 years, let's say, to take power. Because I think even Charlie Mullins said he'll be back when Nigel Farage is president. And I imagine that's going to be in the next 4 to 5 years.
President or Prime Minister? Because I think we need our monarchy. We need our monarchy. Don't become a Republican on me in this moment. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please do subscribe if you want lots more clips and interviews like that. Plus, if you want to watch our totally uncensored after show, then visit www.outspoken.live.